Why won't the minister get off the backs of the hardworking Canadians and get rid of the inflationary taxes and deficits that they have to pay?
The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister.
You know, Mr. Speaker, these Conservatives continue to relentlessly talk down Canada and the Canadian economy. But on this side of the House, we believe in Canada, and we know that Canada has the best economic performance of any country in the G7. And Mr. Speaker, let me give you some facts to back that up. After we tabled the budget, S&P reiterated our AAA credit rating. That makes Canada one of only 3 countries in the G7 with a AAA credit rating, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker. 2.5.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
The minister herself said that in fall, that the budget would be balanced in 2028. In this budget, she stated the budget would never be balanced. And before the budget, she said that deficits put oil on the inflationary fire and added $60 billion worth of that oil. That means over $4,000 of debt for every Canadian. Why do Canadians have to pay for the incompetence and change of minds of this government? The Honourable Deputy Minister.
Monsieur le Président,
Mr. Speaker, it's important to understand the data and to understand that Canada is a G7 country that has the strongest economy. I will give you some facts to support that. For example, our country's economic growth in the first quarter was 2.4%. Mr. Speaker, Canada has recovered 129% of jobs lost during the pandemic and 115% in the United States. The Honourable Leader of the Opposition. We see that she and the Prime Minister are completely disconnected from the daily reality of everyday Canadians, and we see why. He left the country, has been avoiding questions about the unpopular budget. In American universities, has gone to American universities instead of talking to people here. She's the one who admitted that deficits feed inflation and that she was going to find $1 of savings for every $1 of spending. Where's that promise in the budget implementation? The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister. Mr. Speaker, last week, I was very proud to be in Japan at the meeting of G7 finance ministers. It's important for Canadians to understand that the Conservatives may think that Canada's finance minister shouldn't go to international meetings. If that's what the Conservatives think, they have to tell the truth to Canadians. About the Canadian economy, we have the strongest G7 economy, thanks to Canadians' work in our government. The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Impressive that the Deputy Prime Minister and the Prime Minister are attending really important meetings in Japan and the United States with really important people around the world. We're talking to the common people right here in Canada who can't pay their bills, Mr. Speaker. 1 in 5 skipping meals because they can't afford the inflationary carbon tax on food. 1.5 million eating at food banks, some asking for help with medical assistance and dying because they can't afford to eat, heat, or house themselves. The minister admits deficits cause this inflation, yet she added 60 billion more of them. Why does she keep boosting prices while she travels abroad?
The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, let's be really clear on what the Conservatives are insinuating. The Conservatives are trying to insinuate today that there is something elitist, that there is something that goes against the interests of regular Canadians when Canadian leaders attend G7 meetings. And I want to ask Canadians, do they think it is wrong for the Prime Minister to go to a meeting with the President of the United States, the Prime Minister of the UK, the Prime Minister of Japan?
Leader of the Opposition.
No, we just wish he'd remember that the real people who pay the bills actually live right here in Canada.